How you doing today, guys? It's going to be my first video for City Skylines. I figured this will be a series I'll make for it. And City Skylines, it's by far the best city builder I've played. Of course, I think it's one of the latest to be made that I know of, so it makes sense that it's gotten better than most of the rest, at least everything else that I've tried. Little checkered box here, that's my area to build in. And once you reach the population objectives, you can build in pretty much this whole map that you see out there will become available. Now, all of these, the infrastructure you see out here, the road, railroad, that kind of stuff, that comes already in there. It looks like some kind of abandoned, I don't know, a factory or something over there. All of that, that's already there. I haven't built anything on this. This is a complete fresh start. And this will actually be my first start playing with After Dark. And I also have the Snowfall DLC. Those are DLCs if you're not sure what that is. And that's why I have a temperature reading here. Because on the snow maps, I guess your citizens will actually want heating later on. But now to get started. So the first thing you have to do is build a road. Now to start out with, this is the only road that they give me to start out with. Everything else is locked until you build some of this road. Now that's not the type of road I like to build first, so I'll just build a little strip out here. That's all you have to do, and then it'll let me build dirt roads. They're a little cheaper to maintain, so I like to go with those early on. Alrighty. And I figure this area out here, this will be my industrial area. Build a couple offshoots there. And over on this side, this will be my residential and commercial areas. Alright, so I think we got enough roads that we need for now. So the next thing to do is water utilities. So let's get a water pump. Now, as you can see, it's got that orange circle and the little headphones there. That means it just gives off noise pollution, so you want to try and avoid having those too close to your residential areas. Alright, and then we need a water drain pipe. Sewer drainage, in other words. Then you can see the little white arrows on the river. That's showing you your flow direction for the river. So obviously you want to have your sewer drainage downstream from your water pump, because that's not the kind of water you want to drink, if you can help it. And then we have to connect those with pipes. Oops, missed. Go. And then all of your buildings are going to need water connections, so we need to go over there and cover that. And then from there, I'll just hook it up. But I need to get the rest of that covered though as well. Alright, that'll do for now. And the last thing we need is power. Well, you know what? Let me build a house first. Sometimes I like to build a house first. Well, actually, it'll be easier to show you in a second. But as far as for the buildings, now here are your options. And now if you have the fill option selected, then you just mouse over the boxes and it'll just cover all boxes that are connected, and that whole area will turn into houses. I usually use what they call the marquee there, which is just one box at a time. And that way I can choose how big a house I want. Like the biggest single house is a 4x4 box. And then the smallest one you can do single wide. You could just do one individual box. I usually do one wide, 3 deep for the small houses. And then I need to wait for a house to actually become built, or at least start building. Let me speed up time just a little bit here. Okay, there we go. They started building it. And the reason why I want to build a house before I put the power in is that gives you a little radius around there to build your power lines in. Because if I just built the power lines right here, then it would take space away from room that I was going to build houses on. So I just like to do it like this. So just put your utilities inside the blue area and just stretch it all the way over here to inside that blue area, and that means that'll be covered. Now your power will automatically jump from house to house if they're close enough, but as you can see, the boxes, they aren't close enough to connect. So we'll have to build another house in between there, a couple of them, so they're close enough to connect. And then I'll shoot off from there over to my sewer pump. Oh yeah, that's right, I didn't build a power source yet. Alright. Now I play with a lot of mods installed currently. I'm not going to highlight all of them because I've just got too many. Now at the end of the video, I'll tack on another video that shows me, I'll scroll down all the mods I have, and that way you can see everything I've currently got. I usually go with this to start off with. It's a little portable trailer, and it is a mod. So I'll just stick it there, and that way it'll automatically hook up to the wires there. And then, oops. Once these, now you can see it, everything's turned blue, so that means everything's connected. Except this house over here, that house is not connected yet. And it'll give you a little symbol up there, it'll tell you. So let me just build some more houses in between. That would probably be enough right there, but I'll build another one here. And then once these get built, then power will jump from lot to lot, and it'll get power over there. I like to leave a little bit of room in between my houses. I personally grew up with a bit more room than this, so I like to have at least some room, not have my city too densely packed. At least early on when I can help it. Now later on, I probably won't have a choice, because I mean, if you leave your houses too far apart, you won't have room for enough houses to get enough people you need. But for now, we can afford to have some space. Okay, now as you can see, you got the little green bar down here. That means I've got really high residential demand, which that'll go down a little bit once all of these get built and the people get moved in. The middle one, which will be blue, that's your commercial demand, and then orange, the last one over here on the right, that'll be industrial demand, and we don't really have enough people yet for those to really have any demand right now. It's pretty much entirely incumbent on how many people you have. So. Matter of fact, let me tip the time up. Then, just in case you didn't notice, you just click on that and that'll accelerate time. Then you have to just click it a couple more times to go back to normal. And I think you have to hit this over here to pause. And then this over here, this tells you where you are in your day-night cycle. Like the sun, you can see it's just coming up, so it's pretty much dawn right now. Yeah, demand for industrial and commercial isn't really going up, so I better get some more houses plugged in here. Now me personally, I'm not too worried about having exact spacing and all that down, so my housing may look a little bit sloppy compared to what some people do, but yeah, I never really worried too much about that. Although now one thing, now as you can see here, now that they just built a trailer on this, just because you make a large lot available doesn't mean they'll build the full size, the largest possible house, because they've got the same house there as we've got over here on this 1x3, so that happens sometimes. Although houses, they will upgrade over time, assuming the population is doing well. Alright, so actually we don't have much commercial or industrial demand, but we're almost out of residential demand. That's a little unusual. But I'll just go ahead and make some industrial anyway. Something will show up eventually. Alright, so we'll start. And let's just start with some small lots actually. Very small town, probably won't have any huge businesses moving in right away anyway. So yeah, let's just make some small ones for now. And then I will need to move power over there, but I'll wait until something actually starts being built and then I'll move that over. Let's do one little commercial for now. The thing is, I still do have time. Accelerated. I'm surprised the demand for those is progressing as slow as it is. Seems like usually it goes quicker. Okay, so we got something coming up over there. Honestly, I probably should have just left that one by itself there at the end. That way they would have built there first. Because as it is, I would have to build power lines all the way in there, and I'd rather just do it to the outside. Okay, here we go. I think that'll work well enough. That taken care of. And then when you click on the power, it shows you how you're doing for power. I'm producing 4. My rating of consumption so far is 0. So, I mean, power goes a fair distance. Like what I've got now, it's giving me a 1 consumption for what I've got here. So it goes a little ways. Alright, now I need to build another building over here somewhere, just so that power will jump over. Let's build some more houses. That'll get it part of the way, and then I'll build another little commercial. And I'll see, that might be close enough for it to jump over. Sometimes I just prefer doing that. Yeah, that's close enough right there, looks like. Yep, just connects. And then that's one thing to keep in mind is your commercial, as far as I've been able to tell, makes far more money per building than anything else here. Yeah, because commercial, that's your primary money maker, even though it seems like usually you'll probably have less of that than anything else, because it seems like that's the way demand works. You're going to have more residential and industrial lots than commercial, but commercial still usually ends up making the most money, at least as far as percentage-wise, or I should say per building, per lot you have, it will make more money. Let's increase time even faster, that way when we get back to daylight we can see better. But in the early stages like this, and they're saying they want more workers. Now I think one thing that if your industrial buildings are too far, actually, you know what, I actually made a little mistake here. That's one reason. Is this is a one-way road coming in, this is one way out, and I didn't connect a road going around. So yeah, the workers can't get to the workplace by using the roads. Although I believe they still will walk across, I think. But do we have any foot traffic? You know what, actually I think I would have to have a road crossing these two connected, then I think they would. Okay, so now we got roads connected, so now people can get around. Yes, that's one thing I sometimes forget. You have to have a road going around like that, at least with the system values for roads. And now we're starting to see a little spike in demand for industrial, and a little for commercial, still not that much though. Although that's probably just because these small little lots I built, they don't employ very many people. So if you want more people employed, you can build the bigger lots, and that'll help some. But I'm going to keep building mostly small ones for now. And we're going to slow time down. Now it's daylight again. Got a bit of traffic rolling in. So it appears to be accurate, so it looked like it waited until daylight for it to come, that's what the After Dark mod was supposed to do, make traffic much lighter at night, more realistic. And then I wasn't going to highlight my mods for the most part, but this one in particular I will, since it's kind of obvious, that since it's sitting there and it is something that I like to do, is the Traffic Manager. I have Traffic Manager plus AI, and for that it just allows you to place stop signs, traffic lights, and you can do some other things with the lanes and such. I haven't really messed with that much. Looks like we've got a bunch of people coming to town. Oh yeah, that's right, that's some areas over here. Yeah, it's another thing to keep in mind is you kind of want to try and keep your commercial, and especially your industrial, a little bit separate from your residential, because that way you won't have the heavy traffic moving through your residential areas. Later on, you can set a district and you can ban heavy traffic from those areas, but right now I won't be able to do it. Although you can basically do it with proper placement of roads and where you put your commercial. And now you can actually see that they are stopping there, whereas usually they would just continue to roll through like they are right through there. But now that I put a stop sign, they are actually stopping. Although that can back up your traffic a little bit, it is much more realistic. And wow, we have a huge industrial demand going on still. So I need to get a bit more industrial going here. And yes, I did put water up here. Good. Getting a little bit more commercial demand showing up as well. Get that taken care of. And where's my population at right now? Right now I'm at 148, so not very many people. Pretty soon I'll need to expand some more roads here. And as you can see right now, we're negative 469 per week currently. So it's gone up a bit. It was like 700 and something right after I built all the infrastructure. So once I get more industrial going, a little bit more commercial, then I can add some more people come in. You should be able to start making a profit fairly soon, and I should start getting more with this because I'm down to 23,000. So let's keep on adding. And now that is one thing you can see it is if you add the same size lot over and over again, you will get a little bit of repetitiveness sometimes in the type of building that shows up. Although, honestly, that probably is a little bit realistic in some cases as far as industrial buildings. A lot of them do look about the same since they're usually using whatever cheap, those metal construction outfits to put up their buildings. Put a few more little ones over here. Wait for those to get built, and then we'll see how my demand's looking. Yeah, it's starting to go down, and residential demand is starting to go up a little bit, so I'll probably go ahead and start getting a few more houses going. Maybe a little more commercial too. And then I don't think I want to build my houses any closer to commercial because the commercial areas do have a little bit of noise pollution. So if you have your houses too close to a concentration of commercial buildings, it can make the people a little bit unhappy. Now, what's not near as bad as the industrial. Now, the industrial not only has noise pollution, but it has chemical pollution as well. Like you can see, the ground is kind of turning gray there, you know, and it looks like, did we run out of power? Yeah, we're just about out of power there, so let me, you know what, let me go with this, because that one doesn't have to be on a road, and that is from a mod I'm using. I can just build that out here in the sticks. And that'll give me like 10 or 12 more power. Alright, so industrial demand has completely vanished. Now it's all residential. And then that's another thing to remember, is you do not want any water sources coming from around industrial areas. Because as you could see, that ground was turning gray. If you're pulling water, if you've got a water tower planted on that gray colored ground, then that means the water is going to be poisonous, basically, and you're going to have people who are just going to be getting sick constantly. I mean, and even if you have an excess of medical facilities, they're going to be working full time. They're still not going to be keeping up. Had that happen once accidentally, and I couldn't figure out what the hell was going on, and I realized I had a water tower was pulling this water from a polluted zone. Is a little shortage currently of workers, but that should be taken care of soon once I get these other houses built. And I'm kind of starting to run out of roads, so I better expand my residential areas a little bit. They don't like me making the road longer. I guess they don't want any more neighbors. Man, I think I'm gonna have to expand my water out here. Oh no, actually that's all covered. Okay, so I'm good, so I can just start building right away. Residential demand pretty much, and it might be time to build something a little bit bigger for commercial, because that demand is being persistent. And looks like got the sun coming up. And then my objective for population before I can add any new types of services is, I believe it's 440. So right now I've only got 250 people, 260 practically. So I got a little ways to go. Of course, I haven't been growing this as fast as I probably could have. might as well just keep on adding, considering what the demand for residential is. Yeah, that's why a lot of these icons down here are grayed out, because I have to reach a certain population to get these. Okay, so that actually it's 360 people, and then I'll get the garbage options. The same for healthcare, and for fire department I have to get to 750, police 750, library, or sorry, education will be 360, 2,200 for public transportation, and 1,200 for parks and plazas. But with all that extra housing, population should see a nice little boost. And it looks like just in time, because I'm down to less than $8,000, but I'm only negative 20, so we're real close to making a profit here. So we'll be doing that in no time. That's one nice thing is it doesn't cost you any money to put down these lots here. So as long as you've got road space available, you can keep expanding, even if you don't have money. But that's one thing you have to remember, though. You have to have ample road space available. And starting to get a little bit of industrial demand coming back up. Got those two bigger commercial buildings that knocked down most of the demand there, but there's still some. And that's one thing to note is the height of the lot will change to whatever the road that it's connected to is. So that's why sometimes you see elevated ground like that, is because that part of the road is higher than this ground over here. So the entire lot automatically elevates to whatever that the elevation of the road is it's connected to. So sometimes it's a little strange looking if you build on a steep hillside or something like that. Like you can see that there, cars kind of on a downward slope. Although honestly, I've seen parking lots worse than that, I think, so it's not too bad. And that's one of the really impressive things about the graphics on this game, is how even the road texture changes when it's raining. And it's actually not even sticking out as much as it usually does, but it might have changed it a little bit with the update. Because this is the first time I've played this since I downloaded the After Dark and Snowfall DLCs. And as you can see, we've got a lot of cars parked along the streets there. And they did a pretty good job making these, the neighborhoods look fairly realistic. Although honestly, in most neighborhoods today, I don't think there's probably not that much foot traffic going back and forth. But still, it looks good. Okay, so we still have a really high residential demand. Okay, let me see, I guess I'm going to start building out here now. And it looks like my FPS is not happy. Well, let me see if that ticks back up, although I think I was getting about to the end of where I wanted to go for today, so if it doesn't come back I can just end the video here, because I should be getting about to the end of my time. Yeah, my timer's got 2 minutes, so I mean, if it doesn't come back here in a few seconds, then we'll just end the video on this. Yeah, let's just call it a day there. Oh, well, thanks for watching, and if you liked the video, don't forget to give it a like. Thank you. Alright guys, as I said, I'm going to scroll down my mods here, and this will show you all the mods I have. And there's quite a list, so this might be a few minutes. So if you see something you like or you want to know more about, just pause the video while I'm scrolling on it. And then this should give you enough information to look it up in Steam Workshop. Alright, and that's all of my assets. So now let's go to these mods. And these ones up here, those come with the game. Then I'm starting with this one. These are ones I got from the workshop. These ones with the workshop signs on them. Alright, and that's everything I got from the workshop. Thanks for watching, guys.